The morning of my sister's wedding felt like any other day. The sun streamed through the window, the air smelled faintly of flowers, and somewhere in the distance, I could hear the sound of laughter and voices. But something was missing. I wasn't there. Not in the invitations, not in the seating chart, not even in the emails or texts confirming who would be present. My sister, Lily, had decided I shouldn't attend her wedding. She said it was too complicated and that she wanted the day to be peaceful. I tried to argue, to tell her that family matters more than minor disagreements, but she wouldn't listen. So I stayed home. I thought about calling her, sending a text, anything, but then I remembered her words. Just let it be. So I didn't. Instead, I went about my day quietly, keeping myself busy with work, errands, and trying to distract myself. I told myself it wasn't my place to interfere. But the feeling of being left out, of being excluded, gnawed at me all day. I thought about all the times we had been together, childhood birthdays, holidays, family vacations. Every shared memory now felt like a contrast to this moment, a reminder of how far apart we had drifted. As the afternoon approached, I decided to watch a live stream someone had posted. Many of the guests had been posting pictures online, and someone had jokingly set up a feed for friends who couldn't attend. I thought it might be comforting to see her, even from afar. The wedding started beautifully. Lily looked radiant in her dress. The groom, Jason, stood proudly at the altar, smiling at her as if she were the only person in the world. Guests were laughing, clapping, and wiping away tears of joy. Everything seemed perfect. And then it happened. At first, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought I was imagining it. Jason's hand shot up and slapped Lily across the face. The camera wobbled in the live stream. Someone gasped, and for a few horrifying seconds, there was silence. The smile on Lily's face froze. Guests froze. Some of them were too shocked to react. Then, chaos. The maid of honor rushed forward, trying to hold him back. A few people shouted. Someone grabbed their phone to call for help. The minister stepped back, unsure what to do. Lily's face turned red, her expression a mix of shock, fear, and anger. She tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. And me? I sat frozen in front of my laptop. My heart was pounding so hard, I thought it would burst. I had been excluded from her wedding, and yet I was witnessing the moment she needed someone more than ever. I wanted to run there, to grab a car, to do something, anything to stop him. But I was miles away. All I could do was watch. And then I saw something that changed everything. The live stream camera had captured more than just the slap. It had captured the reactions of the guests. The whispers, the shocked expressions, the subtle phone recordings hidden in the hands of some attendees. Footage of Jason's violence was everywhere in the frame, and for the first time that day, I realized something important. This wasn't just a private moment, it was evidence. And evidence, I thought, is power. I just had to figure out how to use it. I stared at the live stream, my hands trembling. My sister's face was pale, and her eyes were wide with shock. The guests around her were frozen, some whispering urgently, some filming discreetly with their phones. Jason, her new husband, stood there, his expression twisted in anger as if the slap had been justified. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to jump through the screen, to pull her away, to make him stop, but I was powerless in that moment. All I had was the footage. I quickly began screenshotting, recording clips, and saving every angle I could. I knew this could be important. Evidence like this, caught on camera, with multiple witnesses, could protect her. I didn't know if she would be able to use it, but I knew I had to secure it before it disappeared online. By the time the wedding chaos had settled into whispered confusion, I had compiled a folder of over a dozen videos, each showing Jason's violent outburst and the stunned reactions of guests. I called my sister immediately, my hands still shaking. "Lily, I saw it," I said, my voice urgent. "Are you okay?" There was a long silence on the line. Then a shaky voice. I don't know. He just hit me in front of everyone. What do I do?" "Listen to me," I said firmly. "You are not alone. Save this footage. Show it to the authorities. This isn't just a private fight. He assaulted you in public. We can take action." She started to cry. But what if everyone thinks I'm overreacting? What if they blame me? I took a deep breath. They won't. Look at the footage. You didn't provoke him. He chose to do that. And now we have proof. Over the next hour, I guided her through saving all the recordings safely. I even instructed her to make multiple backups and send copies to me. She was shaky but determined, finally realizing that being excluded from her own wedding didn't mean she was powerless anymore. Once that was done, I called my lawyer. I explained everything. The live stream, the videos, the witnesses, my sister's fear. He immediately said we had a strong case. Jason's violent behavior, captured on video and witnessed by dozens, would not go unnoticed by the courts. Even if he denies it, he said, the footage and the eyewitness accounts will speak for themselves. We can file for protective measures and, if necessary, annul the marriage or pursue criminal charges for assault. My sister was hesitant. I don't want him in jail, she whispered. I don't want to be afraid anymore. I reassured her. This isn't about revenge. It's about protecting yourself and everyone who cares about you. You don't have to face him alone anymore. By evening, we had prepared everything. Multiple copies of the video, a list of guests willing to testify, and contact with the authorities. My sister finally began to breathe normally for the first time since the wedding had started. It was then that she looked at me, eyes glistening with tears. Thank you for not letting me face this alone, she whispered. I smiled gently. You're stronger than you think, but even the strongest people need help sometimes. And today, you're not alone anymore. The next morning, we filed a report with the local authorities. The footage went with us, along with witness statements from several of the guests who had been brave enough to speak up. Jason's behavior, once hidden behind the facade of a perfect wedding, was now documented for everyone to see. I realized then that exclusion from the wedding didn't mean I was powerless. Watching, recording, and acting, even from afar, had made all the difference. And now, finally, my sister had a chance at justice. Because sometimes, being left out can give you the perspective you need to protect those you love the most. And sometimes, footage doesn't just capture a moment, it saves a life. A few days later, the authorities contacted my sister. They had reviewed the footage and spoken with multiple guests. Jason's violent act was undeniable. He was arrested for assault, and the wedding chaos became the basis for legal protection orders. My sister finally felt safe for the first time since that day. She turned to me, tears in her eyes. I thought I was all alone, she whispered. I held her hand. You're not. You never were. The footage, the witnesses, and our determination had changed everything. What started as a day of exclusion had become the moment she, and justice, finally had a voice.